How y'all doing? Happy Friday, my world. Happy whenever you'll see this in your world, okay? Bienvenidos a mi canal. Welcome back to my channel. If you know me, thank you so much for coming back to see it, girl. I appreciate you for real. If you do not recognize this face, however, my bad. My name is Latrice. Nice to meet you. And this right here is Faith by Latrice, yes. Where faith is the muscle we exercise around here. Now let's get on into it, y'all. No dilly-dallying me down. Oh, I was trying to figure out how to start this one. Before I press record, and God was like, just be honest. I was like, okay. So yesterday I didn't do a video. Couple reasons. I hung out with my friends who I haven't seen in forever, so it was a good time and I loved it. We went to go eat. It was great, all the things. But also by the end of the night I had some reflection going on, and some emotional reflection and all the things, and I was kind of sad. Because I was rethinking some things, playing it over in my mind, trying to, go detail to detail, thinking like, okay, am I tripping? Am I really wild? And like, this is why it's good to have people you can talk to, tell them what's going on. So you guys can perspective, all the things. So, el tema de hoy, release them part 2. I started thinking about stuff. I was like, oh, Latrice, you can't go there. You cannot go there in here. You can't go there. Ooh, you have too many things to think about. You have too many things to put in place, too many things to do, too many places to go mentally, and too many places to go spiritually to progress forward, to be dwelling on things of the past again. Coming home the other day from work, I was like, no, Latrice, you can't do what you've always done in your mind, because you're going to get what you've always gotten. You're going to get the frustration. You're going to get the sadness. You're going to get the tension. You're going to get all of that stuff in your body. You're going to hold it in your body again. And we don't want to go through that again. That's why we're in this in the first place. So release them again. And as I was doing my workout and prayer and all the things, God was like, you have to release them as many times as you need. Because you may get new information about something. You may get somebody to say something that triggers you, and it causes you to think back, and all the flood of memories come. So many things may happen that you may have to release them again. You may have to forgive them again. Speaking of forgiveness, in the Bible, in Matthew chapter 18, let me just go to it. Peter asked Jesus. He was like, how often should I forgive somebody if they sin against me? 7 times? And Jesus was like, not 7 times, but 70 times 7. And I think he gave that number because if we think, oh, how many times I got to do this? How many times do I have to forgive? How many times do I have to be nice? That means we can put a number on it. We can calculate when it's going to be over. So that means it won't be done with it won't be done with all of you. You're not going to put your heart into it if you know if it's a timeline on how many times you got to forgive. If there's an expiration date on how many times you have to give grace, you're not going to care. You're going to, oh, okay, I got 4 more times to forgive you. Bet. Go ahead. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Yeah. You're not going to mean it. It's not going to be, you're not going to get anything out of here if you think, oh, I have this many times. No, 70 times. And some pastors have preached or have talked about this 70 times a day. Because think about it. I thought about this while I was journaling. I'm like, the reason we have to forgive 70 times a day, which I believe, is say if you got up early, you did your devotion, you read, or maybe you didn't get your morning routine together. And it's early in the morning, you go outside, you go to the mailbox. You ain't even went nowhere yet. You went to the mailbox at 8 in the morning. And somebody comes and they bump you, or they left something outside, or they did something to you, they yelled out at you, whatever. And they offended you. Somebody said something reckless to you at 8 in the morning. You get a phone call, you get a text message. They say something reckless to you at 8 in the morning. You haven't had time to get your day started. If you don't forgive them, if you don't choose to release them by 8:30, you have now sacrificed the rest of your day thinking about what they did to you at 8 in the morning. If you do not, and then somebody else does something at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. If you don't release them, if you don't forgive them, if you don't let it go, the rest of your day is sacrificed. We have to release people as many times as we need, because we need this right here. We need this to function. We need this to progress. We need this to love people. If you single and somebody has broken your heart and you haven't forgiven them, you haven't released them, you still holding on to what they did, you still holding on to bitterness, resentment, and anger, you will not have a chance to open your heart up to love somebody else who may love you past your pain if you don't release them. Okay. I start thinking about this, and Pastor Darius Daniels, PD, what up? He often says, which I also believe from reading it myself, Jesus was the greatest human to ever live. And he lived the best life that could be lived. He was perfect. He was blameless. He didn't sin. He didn't, all the things. He worked. He did his job. He worked. He did his ministry. He knew who he was. And to be able to be like him, to be able to have the success he had mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I'm like, all right, bet. I'm going to need to know how to do this. So he's been showing me, right? He's showing me via the examples he lived. We talk about Judas betraying Jesus, right? We'd be like, oh my God, Judas is la la la. I don't think we really dissect the story as Judas was a disciple. He was one of the 12 apostles, meaning Jesus handpicked Judas. The Bible says Jesus prayed all night long to God. And the next day is when he chose the 12. Judas was chosen specifically. Judas walked with Jesus for 3 years. He was close to him. He walked with him. He ate with him. He talked with him. He was close to him. He lived life with this man. And then Jesus knew Judas would betray him. We talk about Jesus being God and human at the same time. He's got, okay, invincible, la la. But in his humanity, he was hurt by what Judas did. Let me prove it to you. John 13:21, in this translation, it says, now Jesus was deeply troubled. Another translation says he was troubled in his spirit. And he exclaimed, I tell you the truth, one of you will betray me. Exclamation point. He was sad about it. He was hurt about it. He was mad about it. He like, I picked y'all, and one of y'all finna really do me really something crazy right now. You gonna betray me for 30 pieces of silver after we done walked together, after I was vulnerable with you? You seen me cry, you seen me weep, you seen me pray, you seen me all the things. And you do this to me? What it revealed to me was the people who will betray us or disappoint us the most will be the ones that are the closest to us. The ones who have seen our vulnerability. Because a stranger can't betray you. Okay. Last thing is, he told the disciples who was going to be the one to betray him. He's like, you're going to know because I'm going to dip the bread and I'm going to give it to the person who's going to betray me. He gave it to Judas. After Judas took it, Satan entered him. And what Jesus said to him, this is going long, but what Jesus said was, what you going to do it quickly. What you about to do it quickly. Because what you're about to do to me is not going to stop what God is doing through me. Oh my God. And he knew that because in verse 3, it says, Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything and that he had come from God and would return to God. He knew who he was. Judas couldn't stop it. That's it. Go about your business. Release them as many times as you need. Si nadie te ha dicho hoy, esta día que te estoy hablando a ti mismo. If nobody has told you today, I want to tell you that I love you. And I love me too, because listen, life be life, but guess what? We are going to prosper regardless. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.